Ambassador, what are the latest developments regarding Russia's withdrawal from the Black Sea Agreement that threatened the stability of the world's food supply?
It's important to understand that Ukraine didn't sign any documents with Russian Federation, because we know for Russia there is no trust, and if you're dealing with Russia, it's always lies and jeopardizing any agreement. So we didn't sign anything with them. Our agreement was with United Nations and Turkey. And we are very responsibly performing it, fulfilling the agreement and delivering the grains. What about Russia? Well, they did what they usually do, challenging, threatening, and like terrorizing the world with a new wave of starvation. That's what they do. So, however, I would say that thanks God we're working with responsible partners like Turkey and United Nations. And we will be delivering the grains to the world markets. We did not stop. And as you see from the yesterday's news, 12 Ukrainian vessels left the port, despite the protest of Russian terrorists. So despite the warnings and everything like that, I think that the world is very clear about what is going on, actually. Russia is terrorizing the world. Russia is blackmailing the world. And whatever they do to stop it, to stop delivery of grain to the countries of Asia and Africa, I think Ukraine will bravely perform, and Ukraine will bravely go on delivering to save the world from starvation.
Okay, Mr. Ambassador, what are the consequences for Ukraine and the world if Ukraine cannot export grains and other food supply?
You know what, since September, Russia has been creating obstacles already. So, I mean, it shows the real, true intentions of Moscow fascist regime towards the world, towards the countries of the world. And they started to slow down the deliveries. That's why, at present, we have like around 150 vessels full of grain and other food waiting to leave the ports and to deliver, right? The consequences could be very dramatic, if not tragic, because we're talking not only about the starvation of many people in Asia and Africa, like countries like of destination like Bangladesh, like India, like Ethiopia, like Somalia, Algeria, Lebanon, etc. We're talking also about the possible inevitable raise of prices for other goods, and we are talking about possible riots and unrests that could be caused by the, by the people who are suffering in many countries. So this is the complex problem, and unfortunately, the terrorist state of Russia is doing what it has been doing for decades now. It's not just for a month, for decades, terrorizing, blackmailing, trying to achieve its terrorist goals by the absolutely illegal and inhuman instruments.
What are the possible solutions to ensure that Ukraine can still send this food production and grains to all consumers?
We will stick closely to our agreement signed between Ukraine, Turkey, and United Nations, and I think the world community will support us. Well, by now, a lot of world democracies, the leaders of the democratic countries expressed the indignation towards Russian accusations and toward what they do in general. And they expressed support towards the non-stop deliveries of Ukrainian grains. So I think that, well, I hope that the messages were delivered directly to Moscow, to Kremlin, so they will understand the consequences if they create more impediments, if they create more obstacles on the way of Ukrainian exports. So I'm absolutely confident. I mean, we are brave people. We are fighting for a long time. So I think that the salesmen, the sailmen, the captains, and all the teams of these civilian vessels delivering grains are brave men too, brave men and women, right? So they will not be afraid of anything. But I think that we are under protection, at least of the world community and at least of the international law. So whatever Russian terrorists are planning to do, they will be like a boomerang, will be going back to Russia.